welcome our underclassmen as our ceremony for 2025 is now beginning.
You having trouble finding your seats? Good morning. Go ahead and sit down, seniors, faculty. Good morning, everyone. Pretty clearly, the largest Williston class in a long time makes a lot of noise coming in. It's awesome. A warm welcome. I mean that literally. I don't usually have to say that, but I'm seeing a lot of blankets, and I hope there's some base layer out there as well. A warm welcome to parents, family, friends, faculty, students, Chair of the Board of Trustees, John Hazen White Jr., and our honored speaker from the class of 1998, Michael George, and especially you, class of 2025. Welcome to the Williston Northampton School's 184th commencement exercises. I want to add a special welcome to those families who have traveled from great distances to be here today. Places from China, Korea, Singapore, Mexico, Iceland, Austria. We are truly a global community and very proud of that. We have a commencement tradition, seniors, where I now ask you to stand up and join with me in thanking the incomparably dedicated and talented faculty sitting to the sides. Please stand and thank the faculty. And seniors, I'm not going to say seniors many more times. Seniors, before you sit down, please turn around and face the audience and thank those who have loved you and supported you. Thank you, seniors. And also I want to acknowledge the incredible hard work of our physical plant staff and dining services who have made all this possible this weekend, so thank you to them. As the student speakers so eloquently stated last night at Baccalaureate, it has been a memorable year at Williston, class of 2025. Your achievements have broken all kinds of recent records, and you go next to share all of those accomplishments as you migrate to 95 different colleges and universities, both at home and abroad. You have worked hard in our classrooms, in art studios, on the stage, and on the fields. We have watched you grow and change before our very eyes, in some cases dramatically so, as with Sako returning from a year abroad with long hair and a bass voice and an unforgettable performance in Hadestown. As we heard yesterday, we had a record number of championship teams: football, field hockey, boys swimming, boys basketball, and just last week, boys track and field, and still others who went deep into postseason play, like boys soccer and girls hockey and softball. And because you made it look so easy, we got accustomed to seeing Preston draining threes, James and Gab sprinting into the record books, Liv Farabee dominating the nets, or Jacob, Ty, and Troy both on and off the field. To say nothing of Grace on the stage, Oscar in the art studio, or Maddie, Tessa, Annika, Amanda, Cece, Julie, and Cannon lighting it up at the dance concert last week. But amid all of these highlights, last October, we experienced the loss of a treasured member of the class of 2025, Elise Ullman-Colley, in her battle with cancer. Her nearest friends and teachers who had worked so closely with her since middle school pushed through their own emotions and continued to do good well. And pink became the adopted color of the year. In a collaborative effort, Mrs. Hill and Parker Brown teamed up with the idea of generating a scholarship in Elise's name. And you responded by myriad fundraisers led by teams and other campus groups. Thanks to those efforts and the generous support from every segment of the Williston community, including Founders Day gifts, that fund now stands at over $60,000 and thus becomes a permanent part of our endowment as the Elise Ullman-Colley Class of 2025 Memorial Scholarship Fund. As I have been reflecting on my remarks for this morning, I recognize that all of us, but especially you, 2025, witnessed a year that contained tragedy and elation. In other words, we lived through the broad spectrum of human experience that will characterize the rest of your lives. Through it all, you have made durable memories. I won't soon forget this year, and I doubt many of you will either. That's because important life moments and lasting friendships are durable. They are called lasting because they're lasting. You have memories and have developed traits and characteristics like selflessness, dedication, integrity that I hope will stick with you forever. You have friendships with peers and adults that I know will endure, just like your class banner, which Gemma designed and will be here for your next reunion. Thank you, Gemma. Contrast this permanence with countervailing forces that seem to be everywhere, especially in your teenage lives. So much of what we consume, either literally or figuratively, is impermanent. It's perishable. It's disposable. Every time I see Uber Eats pull up to campus, I think of disposable waste, of the disproportionate amount of packaging surrounding a scant, valuable protein that it encapsulates. Every time I hear of a viral TikTok craze, I think that it will be displaced by the next one that comes along. It turns out that 40% of 13-year-olds already have Instagram accounts. And so by the time you finished high school, you were all pretty much conditioned, some would say captive, to this disposable virtual world. Class of 2025, you head to college in extraordinary times, where once promising professional pathways can shift in a matter of months. Just a few years ago, undergraduates scrambled to learn coding, but now that AI has permeated that workplace, according to a recent article in the Washington Post, 1/4 of coding jobs were eliminated in the last 2 years. Deepfakes are really good. So are the voices that read articles in the New York Times. If something can be done faster, cheaper, and better, you need to pay attention. I've been reading a lot about the state of college and university students. College students self-report that they read very little of what's assigned to them, and at the same time, they admit that they use chat or some other AI tool to do a chunk of their work for them. I thought about putting that in this speech because there are a lot of parents out here who are getting ready to pay tuition bills in college. So it's not all lost. Let me say that again. College kids read less and use AI more. That means they do less of the hard work of thinking on their own. If you don't believe me, just ask a college friend. And I don't think that is durable learning. That's not a sustainable vision for higher education. I hope I'm not sounding too doom and gloomy on this celebratory day, so I'm going to shift topics for the 2 minutes I have remaining. Earlier this spring, while car shopping, Mrs. Hill and I test drove a Tesla. And no offense to Tesla owners, but we chose another electric vehicle instead. For me, operating a Tesla was too reliant upon what is essentially a giant iPhone screen. And I'm actually trying to reduce screen time. For those who are not familiar with Teslas, all the vehicle controls, putting it in drive, putting it in reverse, turning on the hot seats and everything, it's all right there on the touch screen. This connects me to my next thought. I'm a disciple of Jonathan Haidt's book, The Anxious Generation. And he warns about our addiction to screens, especially smartphones and social media channels, and how all of that affects dopamine levels and our behavior without our even knowing it. So now I'm thinking that maybe Tesla has a powerful business model that hooks screen-addicted drivers to their high-tech cars. Maybe they imagine little mobile dwelling units, something like a WALL-E movie. My musings take me back to a fundamental binary. It all comes down to permanence versus impermanence. Mrs. Hill helped shape my thinking on this topic. Those of you who have experienced her as a teacher in mathematics or Latin probably think of her as I do, as a really smart person. But I also know, mostly in the summer, when time permits, she is a DIY beast. Catherine, I apologize for oversharing, but I think everybody here in the tent can keep your secret. Mrs. Hill gets totally dialed in on home improvement projects. Heck, she would have helped set this tent up if they'd let her. In our house, instead of White Lotus or Severance, we get a lot of Fixer Upper or Property Brothers. And okay, all of my colleagues are here wondering, where is he going with this thread? Well, since this is, after all, my last chance to call you seniors and to speak to you, I'm going to share this final message. Last summer, at our home in Maine, Mrs. Hill decided we needed to build a path to our front door instead of walking across our lumpy lawn. I could have hired a contractor, but that idea was completely rejected. If you do it yourself, she insisted, then you know it will last. So to build our indestructible walkway of slate stone pavers, we first had to remove about 8 inches of clay-like soil from an area 3 feet wide and 50 feet long. Go ahead, take out your TI-84s and calculate the quantity of cubic feet of base layer needed to fill that back in. There was that, along with 24 45-pound slate paving stones. It's basic arithmetic, I was told. For the record, it came out to 200 50-pound bags of various sand and gravel. For me, however, the daily calculus was simple. I was like the kid in the car whining, "Are we there yet?" Mrs. Hill was not just a patient cheerleader, she poured in her own sweat equity. Time spent became less important than what we had accomplished. Excavating, refilling, and packing down the base became a daily rhythm. In fact, Mrs. Hill would have made Coach Blaine proud with her AP performance-like work. I'd be sipping coffee in the morning, and she'd be out at dawn hammering away at the base with a tool that looks like a giant potato masher attached to a 25-pound iron, over and over and over. It was the exact same sound I hear with the weight balls slamming into the Kane Athletic Center's floor. We worked together as a team, emerged with a newfound knowledge of building a durable path, and for me, many, many lasting memories and a lot of aches. A bit of research, taking time, building a solid foundation, and doing the hard work. Those were the attributes that led to our successful DIY path. Even somebody with such high standards as our own Mr. Brian Wing, who leads Williston's physical plant staff, told me, hey, it looks pretty good. So now, class of 2025, I hope you see the connection to your next 4 years and beyond. My message to you is simple. Live durable lives. Take time, do the hard work yourself, and build lasting foundations. In all you do, take the DIY challenge, and I promise you that you will develop the skills and the resilience to say nothing of the lasting relationships. And oh yeah, try to stay off your screens. Thank you. Thank you. It is my pleasure now to introduce today's speaker, Michael George, who hails from the class of 1998. I first met Michael when he joined a group of alumni to form what is called the Heads Visiting Council. And these alumni serve as volunteers and school ambassadors, and they are the group that seniors actually met during your core interview phone process. I was fascinated by Michael's stories of government work, since he seemed to me to have, to quote from Ms. Sawyer last night, jumped into the pool, the way she spoke about at her baccalaureate address. For Michael, a former Williston swimmer, the metaphor seemed appropriate. Michael George is a senior national security consultant and risk management expert, as well as a former presidential appointee. After graduating from Williston, he attended Union College, where he earned a degree in psychology and political science, and where he captained their swim team. His work in government has been varied, significant, and consequential. And while I'm sure he has many stories of inside baseball, his presence today affirms the importance of civic engagement and public service. I'm so pleased that he joined us from DC today, and that his father, Emil George, Williston class of 1968, could be here as well. Please join me in welcoming Mr. George to the podium.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you again, Bob. I appreciate it. And there's my dad back there. Always good speaking in front of your dad. Well, I'm thankful and humbled to be back here to share in this experience, not only congratulating all of you, but to share some of my story, and specifically a few of the pivotal moments on my journey that left a lasting impression with me and shaped who I am. So like many of you, my journey started here at Williston, where I made lifelong friends, grew academically and athletically, where the mission and core values built a foundation that has been part of my life and career, living with purpose, passion, and integrity, a focus on responsibility, community, and collaboration. For me, these aren't empty words, just some saying on a wall. These are the core elements of who I am in my professional journey and success. So how did I, a kid from Pittsfield, come to run the nation's continuity programs? Well, some of it's through happenstance, relationships, and dedication. After undergrad, I moved to Washington, D.C. I had no job. I found roommates on Craigslist, if you know what that is, strangers, lived with 5 strangers. Every day I would get up, put on a suit, go around the city to law firms and nonprofits, handing out my very thin resume. On one particular morning, my roommate, who happened to be a Senate staffer, mentioned that Senator Ted Kennedy of Massachusetts was looking for a special assistant and offered to walk a copy of my resume over to the senator's office. The same day, I got a call from Kennedy's office to come in for an interview. There were 7 interviews for this role as special assistant. My second to last interview was with Victoria Reggie Kennedy, now Ambassador Kennedy, the senator's wife. Vicki Kennedy's important to note that her brother went to Williston and her father had served on the board. So you better believe that I knew that and that I worked that into that Williston connection into the conversation and interview, and it made all the difference. I was hired. Working for Senator Kennedy was incredible. It was also extremely intimidating and demanding. His staff was comprised of the best in their respective fields, and I didn't know anything. At least I certainly felt that way. The senator had very high expectations, regardless of your position. The amount of memos, letters, draft policy papers that came back redlined with redo or see me written at the top was often frustrating. He demanded the best of us. He also inspired us to be better, to grow, and made a deliberate point to ensure each member of the team knew exactly why they were performing an assignment and how it fit into a larger strategy. The senator always said, the details matter. And if you arrive to a briefing not having done your homework, not knowing the answer, he would send you away and say to come back when you're ready. This may seem a bit much, but being prepared matters. Details matter. Quality matters. And it made all of us better writers, communicators, and critical thinkers. And I carry on that practice with my own staff today. As special assistant to the senator, I did everything. My day began at his home very early in the morning. I briefed him on the events of the day, any pressing matters, had the news clips prepared, and his relevant materials. And then we were off. Constituent meetings, policy sessions, lunch with members, calls, union meetings, votes, an evening speaking event or a fundraiser, then back to his house for dinner, and then evenings in his library late, reviewing memos and making calls. I would also get home very late. I prepared for the next day and did it all over again. When I first started, I made a lot of mistakes. I didn't know the answers to his questions, forgot things, so he would get frustrated. On one particular day, and I've never told this story in public, some have heard it privately, but one particular day we arrived to the Senate for a hearing with then Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld. I had forgot his notes at the house, so we were off to a good start. And he walked as he walked to the Senate building, I received 2 phone calls for the senator, minor things. But I got out of the car and I ran over to the senator to let him know and saw that he was looking over my shoulder. And I said, "Do you hear me?" And he responded, "Oh yes, I hear you. But you better go take care of that," gesturing behind me. And as I turn and sort of everything slows down, I see the car we had arrived in rolling through the parking lot, hitting every car along the way. In my haste, I hadn't put it in park. To say it was not great would be an incredible understatement. In my early 20s, you imagine making that call home. Say, "Well, how was the day?" Say, "Well, Dad, I crashed the senator's car and then all the papers carried it and, Kennedy car goes careening, driverless minivan." It was not great. Every career, no matter how carefully built, includes moments when things don't go as planned. However, it is not the mistakes that define you, it's how you respond to them. I didn't get fired that day or the next, and I paid for the damages. And a week later, the senator told me a story that his father had told him. And I'm paraphrasing, but his father had told him when he was young that he could have any life that he wanted. He could have a serious life with purpose, or a life that simply goes along, but that he needed to choose. The senator said to me, "Michael, I need to rely on you. And if this isn't for you, we'll find something else. But you need to decide. You have to choose what type of life you want." Even just starting out, that was a tough conversation. I felt like I let the senator, my family, and myself down. And I thought through it, and I made my choice. And I gave all of myself to that role. I made myself indispensable. We became very close, and to this day I remain close with the family. And with what little free time I had, I spent it learning, taking courses on federal budget process, appropriations law, parliamentary procedure, acquisitions, grants, etc. I went on to become advisor and then deputy director for economic development. And yes, I made mistakes along the way, but I always adjusted and I learned from them. And I could fill days with Kennedy stories about campaigning, bipartisan dinner parties at his home, or being a small part of the push for the Affordable Care Act, the Patient Bill of Rights, prescription drugs, immigration reform, support for unions, teachers, military body armor. But beyond everything I learned on policy development and coalition building, what stays with me are the conversations, lectures, and lessons on taking the long view, the importance of compromise, relationships, being prepared, and the value and weight of giving and keeping your word. During challenging moments, he would pull the team together and say, "This is why we're here, to do the hard things. We do them because they're right, because they're hard." When the senator passed away, that was difficult for me, for all of us. And I was faced with another choice. And I needed a change, and I wanted a new sense of purpose. So after several months off of forced time off, we call that unemployment, I received a call from a former colleague who recommended I go meet with the new administrator of FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency. And at that time, the agency did not have a great reputation. However, I had heard good things about the administrator, Craig Fugate, and that he was driving trains. And Craig Fugate was a real piece of work, and he and I are still very close from this day. He's a big 6'2" guy from Gainesville, Florida, no nonsense, very direct and very linearly focused on the mission. So we met, and Craig looked like he had walked out of the back warehouse of Home Depot, and there I was, looking like me, typical DC bureaucrat, and we sat down across from each other in awkward silence for 1 minute until I asked, "How may I be of help?" He responded with, "Why do you want to work here? You don't know anything about emergency management." And I said, "You're right, I don't. But I can learn, and you need help navigating DC, Congress, and the White House, and I can help you with that." I also said, "I want to be of service. I want to be somewhere that I can make a difference." So we chatted for a bit, and the more we spoke, I knew I had to work for this person. So we struck a deal that day, and within the first 2 weeks on the job, I was off to school at the Emergency Management Institute in Maryland, learning incident command system, crisis management. And he took great pleasure in what he called the great re-education of Mr. George, ensuring that I knew response operations, risk modeling, diverse multi-mode communication systems, and supply chain management. At FEMA, first as advisor and then years later as deputy chief of staff, we pushed hard to reform every aspect of the agency, transforming programs, changing the culture. Fugate's commitment to the mission and the team were components of his leadership and embodied many things that I had hoped to embody in my service. Empathy and compassion for those we serve and those whom we serve with. Integrity and forthrightness to do the right thing and to ensure that the right thing is done to completion. Accountability and the humility and self-sacrifice to know that the mission and the people we serve are at the end of the day the most important thing. I cannot count the number of times Craig counseled and advised me on the principles above. I learned more from those talks than any book or training on leadership. We were in Joplin, Missouri in 2011 for the response to the EF5 tornado. The devastation was unreal. And any of you who've ever seen tornado damage, it's unlike anything else. Everything was leveled, and I had never seen destruction like that. As we stood in the debris field, I was overwhelmed. I said, "Where do we even start?" And Craig replied, "Michael, for these people, their whole world right now is as far as they can see and as far as they can walk. Our job is to help them pick up the pieces and take their first step to what will be a long recovery. Where do we start? We start with compassion, and then we go from there." With FEMA, I traveled to 46 states and territories, crisscrossing the country, meeting with local officials, community members, public safety personnel, governors, other state leadership, listening, surveying, identifying problems, developing solutions with the community that fit the community. The also Washington mudslide, more Oklahoma tornadoes, Superstorm Sandy, hurricanes and flooding year after year, the Boston Marathon bombing, and the Fukushima nuclear incident after the 2011 earthquake and tsunami. In these moments where things can be chaotic, right? Disasters are chaotic. Craig would say to me and the team, remember, we are not the ones in crisis. Stop, breathe, and work the problem. These experiences changed my life. We were in the White House Situation Room late one night receiving an intelligence briefing on the Fukushima meltdown. The room was filled with department heads, the national security advisor, subject matter experts, and I watched as technical information being presented was lost on the intended audience. And the administrator, in his typical, very direct fashion, leaned in, and he explained to the president and all those in the room in plain and clear language the problem, the implications, and what it meant for our support to Japan and the impacts to the United States. It blew me away watching this. Later I asked him, I said, how do you know so much about nuclear power plants and radiation? Craig responded, Michael, I make it my business to know. It is my job to understand the risks and impacts from all types of threats and hazards, and is critical to shaping how we respond. What's the lesson? Do your homework. Be prepared. Know your audience and communicate clearly. I never walk into a meeting now without knowing the subject matter, the intended audience, and asking, what are we missing? So in 2021, I had the honor of being appointed to the position of Associate Administrator for the Office of National Continuity Programs, an office charged with ensuring the preservation of government and its leaders, often working behind the scenes, doing all that conspiracy shadow government stuff. My father, who's here, his friends asked him, he said, what does your son do? And he said, I don't really know. But I work with these dedicated professionals whose career, who work tirelessly behind the scenes for their mission. My career to that point had been to provide support to others, behind the scenes. Stepping out in front into the leadership role was daunting. Everyone's now looking to you. What if I fail? What if I let everyone down? Putting ourselves into new situations is how you learn and discover new things about yourself. And I knew inside, and you will too, when you're ready, even if it can be anxiety-inducing. So taking what I learned from two dynamic leaders and other mentors and drawing on my experiences, I moved forward. And then Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022. That was a very tense time. Days were filled with intelligence briefings, meetings with National Security Council, the Department of Defense, State Department. There was tremendous concern in the early weeks and months of the invasion. Would NATO engage? What was the possibility of European nations, particularly Eastern Europe, joining the conflict? Would the United States? Would involvement directly or indirectly escalate the conflict? Our role was to rapidly prepare elements of the government and critical assets in the event that Russia retaliated, whether that was cyber attacks or conventional weapons, it didn't matter. It's a lot of pressure. And when the pressure would build, I'd go for walks outside, I'd visit with the team, I'd make small talk. I found it grounding and a helpful distraction. And then I would remember what Craig taught me, to pause, to breathe and work the problem. And when people turn to you, all you can do is trust your team and yourself, give the best advice or direction in that moment with the information you have and nothing more, and you keep moving forward, which is what my office and my team continue to do today. Now, in the interest of time, because I could tell stories all day, and if you see me after, I'm happy to share ones that are probably more appropriate, not on camera. I'm going to leave you with some final thoughts on service to reflect on. When President Jimmy Carter created FEMA in 1979, he established an agency founded on the principles of service and responsibility. Service is more about just fulfilling a job. It is a profound sense of duty and a dedication to helping those in need. It is about putting the public first, ensuring that every action we take is centered on the well-being and resilience of our government structures and the communities we serve. This sentiment, in my opinion, captures the alignment of mission and values. And as you move into this next phase of your academic journey and eventually into your professional lives, regardless of what that may be, you will be entrusted with responsibilities, often great responsibilities. And it is our duty, it is your duty, to carry those out faithfully with dedication, remembering always to align your values around purpose, passion, and integrity. Also, you can crash a senator's car and it'll be okay. I don't recommend it. Listen, everyone, I wish you all the best, and I have no doubt that you're going to achieve even greater successes in the future. Thank you and congratulations.
Wow, what a talk. I've been trying to get Michael to come up to the school for a number of years, and I'm pretty sure I need you up in Maine next time I got to plan and build anything. In all seriousness, something happened. He slipped into that talk. I love history. I read a lot of history. And Michael George just recounted a story he heard from Senator Kennedy that was told to Senator Kennedy by his father. So we're now once removed from the mouthpiece, as it were. And Senator Kennedy's father was Joseph Kennedy, who served as ambassador to England during World War II. So you just heard somebody tell you a story just one voice away from that part of history, which is kind of remarkable to think about. I now invite Academic Dean Kim Poland to the stand, please, to deliver academic awards. Not academic, school awards.
On Thursday afternoon, we held our Athletic Awards Assembly to celebrate another incredible year of success for Williston's athletic teams. I would also like to acknowledge the senior recipients of our top 4 athletic awards and ask those individuals to stand now and be recognized. The George Denman Bowl and the Alumni Bowl are awarded to seniors whose contribution to the athletic program has been characterized by exceptional achievement, faithful participation, and loyal devotion to the best interests of the school. This year, the George Denman Award was given to Herrick Stevenson, and this year, the Alumni Bowl was awarded to Violet Carroll. The Athletic Leadership Award is presented to seniors who have distinguished themselves in terms of the quality of leadership they have demonstrated as student athletes. This year, the Athletic Leadership Awards were given to Lucy Hoyt and Jake Smith. Congratulations. Before presenting the senior class prizes and awards, I'm pleased to make the announcements about the Williston Scholars Program. This year, we offered 7 courses within our Williston Scholars Program, and there are 12 seniors who will be recognized at this time for their exemplary work. As I read the names of the seniors, I ask that they come forward to receive their certificates. Please hold your applause until I read all names. For work in the math department, Carter, Clary, and Chris Anderson. For work in the History and Global Studies department, come on up, guys. Don't be shy. For work in the History and Global Studies department, Parker Brown, Olin Rose Bardewill, Max Elkin, Esther Glazer. For work in the Science department, Tyler Eunice, Liam Berry, Jack Berrien, and Alyssa Matriciani. For work in the Visual Arts department, Oscar Tsui. For work in the Performing Arts department, Annika Stackman. And for work in the English department, Aster Karlstrom. Great job. We've got so many great projects this year. The following are senior prizes awarded each year at commencement as voted by the full faculty and presented by head of school Robert Hill. The Tara Michelle Katzner Prize is awarded annually to that student who best exemplifies the qualities of perseverance, determination, and dedication. This year, the prize is given to Daniel McBride. The Henry E. Donay Jr. 59 Award is given to a senior who has manifested a love of the natural world and who has taken an active interest in the protection and preservation of the world's environmental resources. This year, the prize is given to Gabriella Bobiak. The Henry Teller Prize in memory of a history teacher and choral conductor, 1947 to 1983, is awarded to that person in the Williston Northampton community who, by active example, encourages intercultural understanding and goodwill. This year, the prize is given to Ava Howard. The Tim Wallace Class of 1962 Prize was established in memory of an English-speaking Union exchange student at Williston. The prize is given at commencement to the senior who gets much from the school because he or she puts much in. This year, the prize is given to George Pittman Alley. The Class of 1942 prize is awarded in recognition of outstanding service to the school. This year, the prize is given to Brinka Okuno. The Class of 1942 prize is awarded in recognition of outstanding service to the school. Oh, sorry, we just read that one. Let's do a new one. The George H. Higgins Prize is given to that student in the graduating class who has displayed outstanding character in school life. This year, the prize is given to Aster Karlstrom. The Catherine M. Ockenden Class of 1949 Prize is given to that senior who, in the opinion of the faculty, has contributed moral, positive leadership. This year, the prize is given to Malaya Inaba. The Westcott E.S. Moulton Award, honoring a member of the class of 1927 and Williston Alumni Secretary 1961 to 1973, is presented to that member of the senior class who has shown a high degree of effort in publications, sportsmanship, leadership, and community involvement, leading to continued loyalty and interest as an alumna or alumnus. This year, the award is given to Jacob Smith. The L.G. Treadway Citizenship Prize, established by Richard Treadway, class of 1932, in honor of his father, is awarded to a senior who has been at the school for at least 2 years, who has maintained a strong scholastic standing, and who has given promise of future achievement. The chief qualities to be considered are personal integrity and contributions made to the best citizenship of the school. This year, the prize is awarded to Joaquin James. The Dorothy Bement Prize, honoring a co-founder of the Northampton School for Girls, is given to the senior who has exhibited excellence in academic endeavors and in contributions to citizenship and the overall life of the school. This year, the prize is awarded to Isabel Baxter Paris. The Joseph Sawyer Memorial Prize, honoring the 7th headmaster of the Williston Seminary, 1886 to 1919, is awarded to a senior who has made outstanding contributions to the intellectual and community life of the school. This year, the prize is awarded to Jacob Wah. We now come to the final three prizes which carry the greatest distinction. The first two being awarded to the outstanding students in the senior class, the third honoring the first scholar of the class. The Sarah B. Whitaker Prize, honoring a co-founder of the Northampton School for Girls and co-principal 1924 to 1962, is also known as the White Blazer Award. The White Blazer is given to a senior who has made the greatest contributions to the academic, athletic, and community life of the school while exhibiting exemplary leadership and integrity. The White Blazer is awarded this year to Alyssa Matriciani. The Archibald W. Galbraith Prize, honoring the 8th headmaster of Williston Academy 1919 to 1949, is awarded to that senior who in academics, athletics, and citizenship is exemplary, representing that which is best in the school. The Galbraith Prize is awarded this year to Jack Berrien. The Valedictory Prize is awarded to the first scholar of the class. It is a combination of two awards from an era in the school's history when the Edmund H. Sawyer Prize was given for work in the classical curriculum and the Horatio G. Knight Prize was given for work in the scientific curriculum. These prizes are now combined into one. It honors the student who, by the record of performance during the senior year, is judged by the faculty to be the preeminent scholar in academic achievement. This year, the recipient of the Valedictory Prize is Jack Berrien. On behalf of the faculty and staff, congratulations and best wishes to the class of 25. We will miss you.
And so now to present the awards for students inducted to the Cum Laude Society is Ms. Beatrice Cody, President, Ms. Sue Michalski, Vice President, and Mrs. Kim Poland, Secretary. Come on up.
We gather this morning to honor 13 seniors whom we will induct into the Cum Laude Society, the highest academic award that the Williston Northampton School faculty can bestow. In celebrating such academic excellence, we celebrate our fundamental mission to inspire students to live with scholarly purpose, intellectual passion, and personal integrity. The Cum Laude Society is a national honor society modeled on Phi Beta Kappa. Williston Academy joined the society in 1921. The Northampton School for Girls received its charter in 1951. And in 1971, the society granted the merged Williston Northampton School a new charter. All of us gathered here can take inspiration from the three ancient Greek words that form the motto of cum laude: arete, meaning excellence, dike, meaning justice, and time, meaning honor. Excellence, justice, and honor can characterize the life each of us chooses to lead. and the faculty applaud everyone here who strives to live the life so inspired. Moreover, we thank your families. We hope they will enjoy today as a reflection of their influence upon your lives. Please remember to thank all of those people who have helped you to grow your roots and your wings. As we nurture your curiosity and persistence in the search of truth, beauty, and justice, you have taught us much about language and art, math and science, history and philosophy, and faith, and above all, a love of learning. Because we live in uncertain times, your effort matters. You remind us that learning remains a fundamentally progressive, optimistic, and democratic enterprise. In you, we witness what can be accomplished by a wonderful mixture of human potential and hard work. We catch a glimpse of a brighter future. May you embrace the opportunity to improve an ever-changing world. First, students inducted into the Cum Laude Society this past January, please come forward as your name is called. Please line up in the grass in front of the stage to my right. Isabel Baxter Paris, Jack Berrien, Yanwan Tsao, Aster Karlstrom, Carter Clary, Sebastian Enriquez, Joaquin James, Dionysus Lively, Alyssa Matriciani, Daniel McBride, Jiwan Park, Ellie Parsons, and Maya Zessiger. Now we will welcome new inductees to the front of the stage. As I call your name, please come forward to receive your membership pin and certificate from Cum Laude Chapter President Beatrice Cody and Vice President Sue Michalski, and then line up in front of the stage. George Pittman Alley. Gabriella Bobiak. Parker Brown. Brendan Capshaw. Christopher Doubleday. Margaret Edwards. Massimo Max Elkin. Alyssa Frazier. Madeline McCarthy. Stella Michalski. Rinka Okuno. Xiangcheng Edmund Tong. Tyler Eunice. Cum laude members and inductees, please turn to face the stage for your formal induction. Ms. Beatrice Cody, President of the Williston Northampton Chapter of the Cum Laude Society, will read the charge.
This is such a big, healthy group. I was anxious that you were not going to fit, but now you could center yourselves in front of the stage. Come on over. Your exemplary record in academics and citizenship has earned for you membership in the Cum Laude Society, a fellowship of scholars whose purpose is to recognize and promote excellence in academic work. It is our hope that you will accept the honor of membership as a responsibility to strive for similar excellence in all future endeavors and to contribute to finding solutions to the major challenges that are facing your generation. On behalf of the faculty, I want to thank you for your consistently strong interest and effort. Your commitment to the highest level of academic work has inspired your classmates and your teachers. By the authority duly granted me as president, it is with great pride and pleasure that I welcome you into the Williston Northampton chapter of the Cum Laude Society. Congratulations. You may now return to your seats.
One of our traditions is to have the senior class elect the person who they would like to hear from at this event. And the class of 2025 elected Jake Smith. So, Smitty, if you can give us one more Smitty scoop, come on up.
Firstly, I'd like to thank Mr. Hill, Mr. Hayes and White, all the faculty, families and friends, and of course, the amazing class of 2025. It is an honor to give this address and be the final word before we receive our diplomas. Okay, picture this. It's a cold and rainy Saturday evening in April, very common for the valley we call home. The evil lie of senior spring has just struck the hearts of the usually energetic and motivated class of 2025. The wildest cats were having trouble coming up with indoor activities that would include all of the vast walks of Williston. Basketball and spikeball tournaments just weren't cutting it anymore. We needed something bigger, something better. As Annika and I were sitting in the library one night, reminiscing about the past events of our 4 years at Williston, we came across one of the greatest ideas of all time. Will Chalfont's open mic night. It was genius. What is something that all of Williston can relate to and enjoy? Something every teenager knows and loves. Something that brings everyone at Williston together. Free tandem. And free tandem it was on the night of April 11th as the newly energized Williston community packed together in that small coffee shop on Railroad Street. Songs from Springsteen to Sweet Caroline got the place jumping. Even Miss Channel got up there and brought the house down with Mamma Mia alongside Alyssa Frazier. It was 2 hours of memories made on that special night at this special place. It was Williston, the home of young adults from all over the world trying to figure out who they are and who they want to be, in a place that lets them be their authentic self. Welcomes all interests, all loves, all people, all gathered in one Williston. A place the class of 2025 can forever call their home. This memorable night is similar to those that happen every weekend here on campus. Memorable nights that I missed out on early in my time at Williston. I was a more reserved kid when I first arrived, not a quality I had held before in my young life. But I was in a new place now that was uncomfortable to me, and I was scared to step out of my small town bubble that I had lived in my entire life. Weekends were spent at home with my parents, thinking about all the fun I was missing out on. I would see pictures on Instagram and Flickr of all the fun my classmates were having. I was nervous and my confidence in myself was lacking. I didn't like to be alone, and I thought I'd already spent enough time on campus and felt that I needed to be with my family. The first event I went to was costume kickball in 9th grade. I was encouraged to go by my advisor, and I remember there were so many people there. I was on the sidelines with my new best friend, Joseph Kilcommons, watching everyone else have so much fun. I watched the wildest cats create joy and happiness in hundreds of kids, all under the bright lights of Sawyer Field. People were dressed in wacky and colorful outfits, expressing themselves in the form of camaraderie and competition. The same competition that the class of 2025 thrives on. Day in and day out, these seniors compete inside and outside the classroom. With an incredible number of NEPSAC championships, including 9 this year, it is no surprise that 41 student athletes in our class are going to play sports in college. I had so many missed opportunities in my first year at Williston, but I've come to learn that you have to take chances, put yourself out there, and meet new groups of people. This is one of the many things that Williston has taught me. Trust me, meeting new people will open you up to so many different aspects of Williston. After spending time with my fellow advisory members, Joey O'Donnell, Sacco Lively, and Isabel Baxter-Paris my sophomore year, I started to find myself attending more performances and arts-based events. The more I went, the more I appreciated the work everyone had put into every dance concert, play, arts walk, and choral and instrumental concert. I started to learn about tech theater and the teachers and mentors that are a part of the arts program here at Williston. Being the athlete I am, whose life revolves around sports, I started to think about these performances as games. These are skilled athletes and managers that practice their skill set over and over again all season, culminating in 1 to 3 big games at the end of the trimester. Watching Maddie McCarthy do aerials all over the stage, seeing Ashley Barnes' amazing paintings at the arts walks, and Grace McCullough's show-stopping performance in Hadestown, I started to realize that the talent and hard work of the Williston student body extended beyond athletic facilities. I realized that we are so much more than a bunch of student athletes. We are amazing performers, dancers, artists, and musicians. We are Williston. Williston is a place that recognizes and celebrates all students, no matter what they are interested in or what they are good at. A place that helps you grow in your own interests, but also helps you learn to appreciate the passions of others. A place that helps you reach the destination: graduation, college, getting a job, starting a family. Let's not fast forward our lives to what may be or what we think we want right now. Let's focus on what got us to this point, what made us exactly who we are in this moment. Those chairs you are sitting in, this stage, those diplomas, the people sitting next to you are the culmination of every decision you have made in your life. Every difficult practice and rehearsal that you wanted to leave but you didn't, even when adversity hit hard. Every assignment you sat there and stared at a question for so long you wondered, how will sign graphs and in-class essays help me pay my taxes? But don't worry, that's why we have senior corps. The class of 2025 endured so many ups and downs in their short time at Williston, the most heartbreaking and painful being the passing of our classmate Elise. Those who knew Elise saw the light that radiated from her every day, usually in the shade of pink. With the kindest soul and sweetest heart, Elise illuminated the lives of all who interacted with her. My fondest memory of Elise was in English class last year, when I had come to school with a new haircut. If you know me, you know that I have battled with my hair in my time in high school and haven't quite found a style that I like. I'm open to any suggestions. This was especially clear on this particular day, and I was getting some jokes and comments about my hair that I was trying to brush off, but I had now become self-conscious about it. After class, Elise stopped me in the hallway and said, "Jake, I really like your haircut. It fits you well." In a time when I felt down about myself, Elise picked me up. This was who she was. Her compliments touched the lives of so many people, not just at this school, but in this world. As someone who didn't know Elise's story, her caring actions and authentic compliments told the story of who she truly was. She was a light. At her senior dinner last week, Mr. Brooks told us all to be a light in this world. Whether you are a simple nightlight or a flaming torch, it is important to keep even the faintest flicker alive. And Williston will always be that flicker in the back of our minds. A flicker that reminds us of what Williston truly is. Williston is community. Williston is opportunity. Williston is weekends spent under the lights on Sawyer Field. It's Logan House and EMV sweeping lip sync every year. Williston is Ashton Reynolds and the Williston student section going viral. It's Victoria hitting a game winner from half field under the lights at the blackout game. Williston is Bennett Bartlett and Mr. Dietrich dressing up as Buddy the Elf for every holiday banquet. It's Luke Grabowski doing cartwheels in the library at 9:30 on a random Tuesday morning. Williston is Julie Tatar and Annika Stackman's unbelievable performances in the dance concert. It's petting Max, the Beaton's dog, on the way to class. Williston is that stupid library door that takes 4 tries and your last nerve to open. It's Jedi Master Simpson promoting arate at assembly. Williston is Miss Robin yelling at someone for cutting the lunch line and then giving them a hug after to make it all better. It's Oscar and David's awe-inspiring paintings. It's a genuine hello from a classmate or teacher walking by. And it's spike ball in the quad when everyone yells at Annika's song for playing way too much. Williston is nights by the fire laughing for hours. It's Pittman Alley doing anything and everything out of context. It's the biggest smile and warmest hello from our forever mom, Miss Motika. Williston is the class of 2025. Williston is family. Williston will forever be a place to call home. I will always cherish the friendships, knowledge, and sense of community that we've built here at Williston. Thank you all for your part in our journey. Let's graduate.
Smitty, that was amazing. I couldn't help but think, having listened to classmates last night in baccalaureate and then Smitty kind of nail it down here this morning, that if I ever get asked what's the value of being at Williston for 1, 2, 3, 4 years, I'm just going to have him talk to our speakers that we've had the last 24 hours. Just amazing. Another round of applause, please. Okay, seniors, get ready, because that's the last time I can say seniors. I'm going to ask Dean of DEIB, Nikki Chambers, to come forward. She'll be reading names today, and Ms. Poland to come up and help with the diplomas, and board chair John Hazen White Jr. as well. So here we go.
Can you fix me? All right. Ooh. You ready? Okay. All right. Here we go, everyone. Bryce Ackroyd. George Pittman Bunn Alley. Hyunso An. Malaya Madison Anaba. Chris Anderson. Matthew Richard Anden. Estuardo Daniel Argueta Rosales. Juno Lamb Aselton. Elizabeth Grayson Ash. Jackson Axelman. Diploma to be presented by his faculty parent, Jackson Ayers. Diploma to be presented by her faculty parent, Catherine McFarland Ballard. Ashley Olivia Barnes. Liam Berry. Bennett Nicholas Bartlett. Isabel Baxter Paris. Jack Braden Berrien. Colton Michael Blanchard. Gabriella Grace Bobiak. Augusta Toll Brown. Parker Rose Brown. Shane Ackart Boussard. Kirsten Bianca Camiolo. Yanwan Tao. Brendan Wallace Capshaw. Master Blythe Carlstrom. Canon Frederick Chapin Carr. Violet Grace Carroll. Nicole Ray Chatson. Carter Robert Clary. Neve Decate Tesfaye Cleary. Ryan Kamas. Nevin Charles Conroy. James Bayless Courtney. Tate Vaughn Copperthwaite. Sarah Grace Crampton. Yu Yong Tway. Nora Augusta Curtis. Max Antoine DePatty. Theodore R. DeVoe. Tyler Dingle. Sophia Marie DiTerlizzi. Diploma to be presented by his faculty parent, Christopher Doubleday. Hugh Nok Duong. Preston J. Edmead. Audrey Louise Edmonds. Margaret Matraw Edwards. Massimo Elkin. Sebastian Enriquez. Diploma to be presented by her faculty parent, Maggie McGeorge Fay. Justin Fenton Hilt. Olivia F. Farabee. Alyssa Grace Frazier. May Marcy Gazama. Sasha Lang Gerhard. Nasheen Gibbs. Thomas Gingras. Esther Daphne Glazer. Luke Grabowski. Elizabeth Hallowell Hampson. Ava Lorena Howard. Diploma to be presented by his employee parent, Calton Gregory Hoyt. Diploma to be presented by her employee parent, Lucy May Hoyt. Sabir Hussain. Kay Imai. Hazel Maya Jacobs. Joaquin Avery James. Dylan Jose. William Daniel Keegan. Caleb Kemp. Joseph Kilcommons. Gavin Kim. Olivier Lapointe. Tessa Jacqueline Ledger. Dionysus Lively. Brian A. Lloyd. Jianku Liu. Peter Mahone. Alyssa Nicole Matriciani. Pupa Mayalop. Ian Danik McKelligan Lopez Barrios. Daniel Jean McBride, Jr. Diploma to be presented by her trustee parent, Madeline Ann McCarthy. Grace Conway McCullough. Seamus Michael McDermott. Riley James McDonald. Ava Madeline Madaw. Jackson Meddy. Diploma to be presented by her faculty parent, Stella Joan Michalski. Jackson Hugh Miller. Kieran Eric Misra. Ricardo A. Nieves. John Bryson Nazalillo. Arthur Joseph O'Donnell IV. Ore Joseph Odutayo. Rinka Okuno. Xander James Oleksak. Diploma to be accepted by her mother, Elise Oman Kala. Anthony O. Pedizano. Rylan Jacob Padelford. Jiwon Jason Park. Ellie Chase Parsons. Shiv Patel. Gemma Sienna Polino. Gabriel Qureshi. Ashton Reynolds. That's one. Linnea Tora Rhodes. Olin Nathaniel Rose Bartowell. Pim Dow Rung Rot Kittiut. Hedia Sabaru. Michael Lawrence Saliba. Omar David Santoyo. Ashley Brooke Sarmanian. Maya Janet Shatton. Rylan J. Shibley. Fraser Robert Conlon Smith. Jacob Barrett Smith. Leon Soman Powell. Yubin Song. Adam John Songini. Annika Stackman Waldheim. Herrick Wilson Stevenson. Mina Sugiyama. Sokichi Jack Sullivan. Juliana Tatar. Cheong Cheng Tong. Zach Tremblay. Diploma to be presented by his faculty parent, William Vacher. Victoria Deist Valdemar Stoftish. Jacob Waugh, Jr. Vivian Grace Walker. Ka Chung Paul Wang. Graham Harrison Williams. Troy Aiden Worrell. Amanda Yee. Tyler Eunice. Max Zebich. Maya Hyan Zesinger. Tao Hutsi Zhang.
I need to ask John Hazen White Jr. to come back to the podium to make this all official.
Congratulations to you. This is a special day, and I like to share just a couple thoughts every year. It's so special because we're here to celebrate you. We're here to celebrate your moving forward. But in so doing, I think it's fair to say we celebrate more than just that. We celebrate what you've done to help bring together a bigger community. It just occurred to me while I watched this whole thing. You've helped create a much bigger community. It happens every year with the faculty and the staff and the people that work here, with Bob, to your families, to your friends who are part of this, are now a bigger community, and one which is filled with love and hope and good wishes for all of you. And I think I spoke to one of your classmates yesterday, made some very profound comments to me, Alyssa. And simply this, that 3 weeks ago, it was bittersweet to be thinking of leaving. But as of yesterday, she was ready. You're all ready. It's time. It's time to step out, move forward, and as we've said here many times, do good well, with responsibility. But to think about this fact, she then said to me, I will always know that I have a safe place to go back to. And to testimony to that, here I am, back 50 years later, at the place I love as much as any place in the entire world. And I hope that prevails for most of you. So, I really do like to speak without notes, generally. So I could go on. But I think I've said what I really wanted to say. And in saying what I've said, I'm merely expressing my love for this school, for everyone involved with it, and everyone here today. So, by the power vested in me, it is my great pleasure to hereby declare the class of 2025 to be graduates of the Williston Northampton School. With all the rights and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Congratulations, God bless you all.
Please rise and join us in singing the Alma Mater.
Please be seated. That was a wonderful rendition. Thank you. We have a final concluding tradition here at Williston, which is the ringing of the Angelus, which is a bell located across the street on the residential quad. And we begin the year at convocation ringing that bell, and so it seems only fitting that we end the year the same way. The Angelus was presented to the Northampton School by the Student Council in 1952. Some say it became the heart of the Northampton for Girls campus. The Angelus is a bell inscribed with "For Quiet Thought." It was sounded every afternoon, at which time students and teachers paused for a minute of silent reflection. Maria Bergie Dwight Levatant, class of 1952, said at its dedication that the ringing of the Angelus was a call, quote, to remind us of the necessity of thought. There is so much to think about in that brief minute of our own. Now it is permanently installed on the lawn by Woldhouse, and it's our tradition to sound this bell to conclude this ceremony. So as we sound the Angelus, I invite you to join me in a few moments of quiet thought, particularly given what we've all lived through, and particularly as this is a Memorial Day weekend. Finally, graduates, I just want to offer you this last short variation of an Irish blessing. May the road rise up to meet you, and may the wind be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and the rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may the memories of Williston sustain you. This concludes our ceremony.